Hello and happy Wednesday. We are about halfway through the week. Woohoo! All right, so today we are going to talk a little bit about feeling tired all the time. So that is a big issue that women in perimenopause and beyond deal with quite a bit and way too often. So if you are someone who feels like you need a nap by 10 a.m., if you feel like your brain is just really foggy all the time, like you walk into a room and you can't remember why you walked into that room, that happens to me way more often than I would like to admit. And if you kind of feel like caffeine is just not cutting it anymore to help give you more energy, then keep watching. Okay, I'm going to share the real reasons why you feel tired all the time, and why it's not just due to your age. Okay, so oftentimes we blame age for like everything that happens, and it's not our age itself that is to blame. It's everything that's kind of happening in our bodies as we age that is draining us of energy in this case, and for a lot of other things too. We can just blame the things that are happening in our body. So just blaming it simply on age isn't really fair to us. Okay, so as we know, as we age, our hormones kind of go all crazy, especially our estrogen and our progesterone. So if you watched any of my live videos from the 3-day workshop last week, I showed a graph of what your estrogen and progesterone levels look like over time. And in the graph, in our teen years, our estrogen and progesterone, like during puberty, are going up and down all crazy. And then they level out for a really long time. And then once we hit perimenopause, those levels start going all crazy again. So that is what is happening. And when our estrogen and our progesterone have these like big shifts, it really messes with our sleep cycles. It messes with our mood, and it messes with our energy production. So sometimes what happens, if you find yourself kind of like wired yet tired in the evening, that could mean that your cortisol levels are extra high in the evenings. Or if you find yourself really struggling to get out of bed in the mornings, it could mean that your cortisol levels are super, super low in the mornings. And so, trying to get a handle on these hormones is a huge part of what I do in my program with my clients, is really trying to get those hormones to behave as much as possible, so that we don't feel like we are going crazy and we don't feel like we're tired all the time. So hormones are a big piece of why we feel tired all the time. Okay, so learning how to stabilize our hormones, and there are ways of doing that through the foods that we eat, through the types of exercise that we do. So there are ways to help with those crazy hormone fluctuations that we are dealing with. Another reason that we feel tired is that either we are under eating or we're eating the wrong stuff. Okay, so if we're not eating enough, that is going to lead to low energy, because food is essentially energy, right? The calories in food are units of energy, and we need those units of energy to do everything that we have to do all day long, right? And so if we're not eating enough and we're not providing our bodies with enough energy, then our body is going to feel tired. So if you are someone who is constantly on a diet and eating very low calorie, that right there might be the reason, a big reason why you feel really tired. Now, another part of that is maybe you're eating enough calories, but you're not eating enough protein. Okay, you've heard me harp on protein and how important it is over and over and over again, and I won't stop. But protein helps to keep our blood sugar levels stable. Right? It takes longer to digest protein, and when our blood sugar levels crash, that's what causes us to feel like we hit a wall in the middle of the day. So if you get that 2 p.m., 3 p.m. hitting a wall feeling where you're like, I just can't do any more today, a lot of that is due to the fact that our blood sugar just crashed, which means that we didn't eat enough protein at lunch. Okay, so we want to ensure that we're eating protein all throughout the day. Okay, so if you had a cup of coffee and maybe a banana in the morning, and then you haven't eaten anything else all day, and you wonder why you have cravings for maybe chips or cookies in the mid-afternoon hours, that's why, okay? Because a coffee and a banana have no protein in them, and they cause your blood sugar levels to crash because there's just no protein. All right, so ensure that you're eating protein at every single meal. Another thing, if you notice that you have cravings in the evenings, okay, if you tend to snack a lot in the evenings, much of those cravings are, again, due to the fact that you're not eating enough protein. So if you eat protein at every single meal, aim for 20 to 30 grams of protein in every meal that you eat, including your snacks, you will notice that those evening cravings pretty much disappear, okay? Because you are fueling your body properly and you're giving the body the energy that it needs, okay? Another reason why you might be feeling tired and feeling like you have no energy is either you're not moving enough. Okay, so if you are sedentary for most of the day, so if you sit in front of a computer for work and you don't really move around a whole lot, that leads to a sluggish body and a sluggish brain. So simply getting up more throughout the day and moving around at least once an hour, even if it's just for 2-3 minutes where, you walk up and down the hallway, or you walk to a friend's office to say hello, or you walk to the bathroom or the water fountain. Do that once an hour and you will notice your energy levels increasing by quite a bit, okay? The more sedentary we are, the more we're just sitting and not moving, the more tired we are going to feel. Now, the opposite end of that is if you are doing a lot of high intensity workouts, okay, without any recovery time for them, that leads to burnout, especially as we get older. In our 20s, you could probably do 5 HIIT classes a week and be totally fine and not feel any, changes in or dips in your energy levels. However, as we get older, and with our hormones kind of all over the place, those high intensity workouts put a lot of stress on our body, which releases cortisol, right? And that just perpetuates the amount of stress that is just in our lives, and that causes us to feel tired, okay? So try to balance out your workouts a little bit, okay? So if you are somebody who does all high intensity type workouts, then focus a little bit more on just walking and doing some strength training, okay? If you're somebody who sits all day long and doesn't move your body much at all, start adding in step goals. Okay, focusing on getting as many steps as you can in a day, and you will notice a difference in your energy levels, okay? Another reason for low energy is that our sleep hygiene is probably not so good. Okay, so if you spend time scrolling on your phone right before going to bed, or sitting in front of Netflix, binging, or I'm going to say sitting in front of Hulu, binging Handmaid's Tale, which is what I was doing yesterday, for hours on end, and you're, drinking a glass or 2 or 3 of wine each night, all of those things are killing the quality of your sleep, okay? So if you're not getting quality sleep, that for sure is going to make you tired, right? Because you're not giving your body the rest and the recovery that it needs after a long day. So make sure that your bedroom is dark and it's cool, okay? Make sure you have an ideal sleep environment in your bedroom. Try to keep the same bedtime every single day to set your body up to expect, okay, I go to bed at 10:30. The more you do that, the easier it will be to fall asleep much quicker if your body is on more of a schedule, okay? There are supplements that you can look into to help you with sleep. A big one is magnesium. I use magnesium in 2 forms before bed each night. I have a magnesium spray that I spray on my legs each night. And then I also take magnesium glycinate supplements before bed. Okay? Magnesium is very helpful at helping your body calm down and get ready for sleep. Definitely check with your doctor before you add any supplements to your routine, but magnesium is a big one to check out, okay? And then finally, the last reason why you could be dealing with low energy levels and having those midday crashes and wanting to take a nap each morning is that you are not managing your stress levels. Okay, we all have stress, and how we manage our stress makes a big difference in our energy levels. So if we have chronic stress, okay, so chronic means stress that is ongoing, okay, not just for, a couple days or a couple weeks, it's just chronic stress. That leads to adrenal fatigue, which leads to belly fat, and it leads to that tired but wired type vibe that we talked about, okay? When cortisol is extra elevated, you're tired. Ooh, fireworks. Apparently 2 thumbs up is fireworks. I don't know. It's not doing it now. That was weird. Anyways, I don't know any of these hand gestures, and all of a sudden we'll get these like fun background. I think this does, yeah, balloons. Yeah, I know those have come up before. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, elevated cortisol, which is your stress hormone, can lead to that tired but wired type vibe. And learning how to manage stress, not learning how to completely get rid of stress, because that's pretty much impossible, but learning how to best manage stress is going to make a big difference in your energy levels too, okay? And there are a lot of different stress management techniques out there, everything from deep breathing, meditation, yoga, journaling, taking a bath, some self-care type thing. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do to help you better manage your stress, and that will make a really, really big difference in your energy levels throughout the day, okay? So as a little bit of a recap, the things that could be causing us to feel tired and completely burnt out throughout the day is our stress management, our sleep hygiene, how much we are moving. Either we're not moving enough or we're moving way too much and causing a lot of stress on our body with high intensity workouts. Under eating or not eating the right types of foods, not eating enough protein, especially. But the more our diet is composed of whole foods, basically anything that doesn't come in a package, the more energy that we're going to have. The more processed foods that we eat, all the chemicals and everything that are in those foods take a toll on our body. Okay, so trying to eat not just protein, but also a whole foods type diet. And then our hormones, specifically progesterone and estrogen, being totally out of whack, are the main things that could be causing you to feel tired all the time and low on energy. So I would highly recommend you kind of take a look through each of these and try to figure out which one you think could be the reason for your tiredness, okay? If you want some help doing that, I do have a metabolic assessment that I can send over to you. It's something I do with all of my clients when they first join my program, and I'm happy to share it with you and give you some feedback. It's a short little quiz where you just kind of answer some questions about a lot of these topics that we just talked about, and then I will give you some feedback as to where I see, you know, maybe the issue lies. Sometimes it helps to have some outside eyes looking in to really determine what is holding you back. So I will drop a link to that metabolic assessment under this video, you know, get back to you with some feedback if you fill it out to kind of help you along on your journey. And if you want even more help than that, just a reminder that the doors to the Fat Loss Accelerator are currently open for another few days, I think through the 14th. And with the Fat Loss Accelerator, you get meal plans filled with meals that will help to stabilize your hormones. The meals are, you know, the meal plans come with recipes for all of the meals, and they are super easy and quick to make and family friendly. And then you also get a grocery list for each week so that you literally don't have to think at all about food for the 6 weeks of the program. You'll get everything that you need to do for nutrition wise. And then you also get 3 workouts per week to help you build some muscle and build some strength. And then, of course, the accountability piece, which is so incredibly important to help keep you staying on track with it all. So if you're interested in the Fat Loss Accelerator, I'll also drop the link below, and, you know, feel free to reach out with any questions that you have. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you all soon. I'll be back next Wednesday with another video. All right, take care. Bye-bye.